Scottie Barnes has a masterclass versus the Pacers. Trayce Jackson-Davis makes his Raptors debut. Colin Murray-Boyles goes down with an injury. Let's go to the film room.
The only thing that's originally filmed is that I've studied older films and tried to figure out how I got that impression. I was getting meetings right in the cutting room.
The unique thing about film is an art form
exactly.
is the editing.
All right, folks, so Scottie Barnes finished this game with 25 points, 14 rebounds, 6 assists, and 6 stocks. In that third quarter, though, he absolutely took over the game. In that frame, in 9 minutes, had 13 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 of his stocks. He completely took over, flipped the game for the Raptors, which was a muddy contest to start in that first half, and it led to a blowout win for Toronto. Big part of it was the offense in transition, doing a great job of barreling his way to the basket and applying pressure on the Pacers defense in the paint. But he did a really great job of working on these early seals and post-ups as well. Here against Johnny Furphy, takes him one-on-one, spins, and then goes up with the dunk. That is ridiculous stuff, and one. Again, pseudo transition here for Scottie Barnes, just barrels his way to the basket, fights through multiple different fouls, and finishes there. Again, more transition play here. You see Pascal Siakam pointing to Jarris Walker like, hey, you better pick this guy up because he's coming towards you. Doesn't matter. Scottie barrels his way to the basket and finishes. And the big thing for Scottie is this catch and go stuff. He's such an elite rebounder, and when he's able to be this playmaker for you in transition, he puts so much pressure on the defense. So he just goes all the way to the basket, and that's the all-NBA version of Scottie Barnes. 4 assists for him in that third frame as well, and so again, pushing it in transition. He's such an elite playmaker in this moment. Does a great job of finding Ingram, strong side cut, and finish. Here he gets the offensive rebound, and that's a big part of what Scottie can bring on any given night too. Finds quickly, who knocks down the 3. And this is the really, really good stuff from Scottie. Just the awareness off of the rebound, immediately turns around, finds Mamu, who's leaking out in transition. And of course, he had 6 stocks in this game, 3 of them in that third quarter. Watch here. Fronts the post up of Pascal Siakam, uses the length and steals it. Raptors get out in transition again. This time off of the handoff, and watch where Scottie is here as he reacts to this play. He's on the weak side guarding Pascal Siakam. He notices Nembhard's driving, and then he times this up. Really great block. And of course, in transition here, one-on-one against Ben Shepherd, and bang, blocks that as well. Truly absurd game from Scottie Barnes. I mean, when he puts performances like that together, there's no question that he's an all-NBA player. There's no question that a 25-point, 14 rebounds, 6 assists, and 6 stock night is all-NBA basketball, folks. This is the prime version of Scottie Barnes, and you are getting, truthfully, only a glimpse at it because I think he can be this consistently every single night. That's what you want him to eventually get to, but even when he's able to provide it on a couple of nights per week, he is an all-star. He's an all-defense level player. He probably gets into the all-NBA conversation, and he's very much so in the thick of the Defensive Player of the Year conversation. The Raptors in this game, it was a little lopsided. Lopsided isn't the word here. It was a little muddy to start this game. A lot of turnovers. Felt like the early start maybe affected them. I'm not too sure. That's what the broadcast was saying. But the turnovers allowed for the Pacers to get more shots than the Raptors did, allowed them to get in transition more often. And so it didn't seem like the Raptors were really able to implement their style in this game until Scottie Barnes completely flipped the script. And that's why it was so huge, because it felt like they couldn't do anything against him in that third quarter. Whether it was him pushing it in transition, whether it was him grabbing the offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds, and pushing it in transition, he was a one-man show in that third quarter, and it completely changed the complexion of the game. Want to give credit to Mamu. Mamu really helped them in that first half while they were going through the motions there. He had 17 points. It was really important for him to, I guess, put his imprint on the game. The floor spacing is very important when he is out there. The 5-out basketball, the pick and pop stuff is very available to him. And the Pacers were granting him that, so he was able to take advantage fully. It allowed the Raptors to stay in this game and for Scottie to punch in that third quarter in a major way. Scottie's had some really, really great performances against the Pacers this season. The Raptors now have swept the Pacers this year. Not a surprise. Indiana isn't the type of team that you would, expect this year without Tyrese Halliburton. Shout out to Johnny Furphy, by the way, who left the game, had a really bad knee injury, had to get helped off of the court. Ended up, I think, going in a wheelchair to the locker room, but hopefully he's okay. That's a really scary sight to see regardless. Overall, this was a Raptors game where they pretty comfortably handled stuff in the second half. And again, a lot of that has to do with Scottie Barnes being able to flip the script for this team. But that's what he does. That's his role on this team, especially against teams that lack size like the Pacers. All credit to Jay Huff. Pretty good shot blocker, pretty good rebounder for his size as well. Can knock down his threes. But overall, it's not Ivica Zubac. That's why they go out and they trade for Ivica Zubac. And guys, I just realized this is the first time you're talking to me since the trade deadline. Not that busy of a trade deadline for the Toronto Raptors. They added Trayce Jackson-Davis. We're going to get to his debut in a second here. I thought he did some good stuff, but overall, this Raptors team now has some assurance at the backup spot with Trayce Jackson-Davis, which is interesting because Colin Murray-Boyles left this game after he re-aggravated his thumb injury. Colin only played in 8 minutes, scored 2 points, and he left. And after the game, he said, Darko Rajakovic mentioned that they're going to reevaluate Colin and see what he's doing. Feels like this is a good time for him to head into the All-Star break, get about 10 days off, and see how that thumb feels afterwards. Hopefully it's not anything serious. Hopefully it's not a bad re-aggravation. He's obviously been so impressive as a rookie. It'd be really great for him to put up an all-rookie type of season. I think he's in the conversation at the very least to be an all-rookie second-team member. And obviously Colin has been really important to the front line for this Raptors team. Their front court required a guy like CMB to come in and be this sort of curveball for them. And he has really progressed nicely, especially as a rim runner, especially as a guy in the short roll area. His pick and roll craft has looked a lot better as of late. And so you hope that, he doesn't have this gap in his development if he misses an extended period. I hope not. That being said, the Raptors do have some assurance now. Jakob Poeltl is not, the injury report no longer says lower back management. It says return to conditioning, which means that they have progressed in his, plan to return to play for Jakob Poeltl. And that's a great sign. Who knows if he'll play on Detroit versus Detroit on Wednesday. Maybe they give him the All-Star break as well to come back recalibrated next Thursday against the Chicago Bulls. I think it would be advantageous to do so, giving him an extra 10 days of basketball. But that being said, Jakob Poeltl is close. So assurances are coming. And hopefully, truthfully, Jakob is 100% when he comes back, or at least close to 100%, or at least able to give this Raptors team about 20 to 25 minutes of good basketball a night, because that's all they need from a guy like Jakob. So we'll see what happens with him. But again, to progress this thing along, Trayce Jackson-Davis made his debut for the Toronto Raptors. Now, not the big splash move that everybody thought the Raptors might make with Domantas Sabonis or Anthony Davis. They didn't even make the medium-tier move in going for a Daniel Gafford or a Day'Ron Sharpe or a Goga Bitadze. They really went bargain shopping here. And that's no disrespect to Trayce Jackson-Davis, but just like his value was much lower compared to some of these other guys. That's why they only paid 1 second-round pick to go out and acquire him. That being said, he fills a need for this Raptors team, no question. He's still undersized. He's probably 6'9", 6'10" on a good day. He's not a 7-footer, but he rebounds well for his size. Decent shot blocker for his size as well. Because of his experience playing within the Warrior system, which is predicated on dribble handoffs and working with motion offenses, he fits very well into what the Raptors look for from that position. He can pass pretty well for his position as well. And so this was a pretty good debut for Trayce Jackson-Davis, who put up a double-double, 10 points and 10 rebounds. And I don't even think it was all that impressive of a game. It wasn't wow, this is the big man the Raptors have been waiting for. But it's sort of like if you were to see water in the desert, right? And you're just oh my God, the bar is so incredibly low for big man with the Raptors that Trayce Jackson-Davis can come in and immediately put up a double-double performance. It's because they've been looking for a player that can fill this role, that can do these very specific things on the floor for them. And Trayce did that tonight. So offensive rebounding is a big thing from Trayce Jackson-Davis and what the Raptors require from that position. Scottie Barnes shoots this mid-range shot. Great job by Trayce of relocating this and going up with it, getting drawing the foul. The big thing with Trayce is like being able to deal with physicality. And so, you'd like for him to go up more and try to finish a play like this, but he did get hacked, so it's okay. Again, more offensive rebounding. So Jay Huff sells out on this Scottie Barnes post up. Trayce just cleans it up and finishes. So Raptors, this is what I mean by Trayce Jackson-Davis being good within the motion offense of the Raptors. Does a great job of timing this cut. Jacoby Walter finds him in the corner. And again, these are the type of moments where you would like Trayce to finish through contact. So he misses here, but again, draws the foul. Again, early work by R.J. Barrett on the post up here from Andrew Nembhard. And a good job by Trayce, as you see, filling this lane and engaging the help defense. And so right here, RJ misses, but again, Trayce there to clean it up. A lot more of that. So dribble handoff, RJ goes downhill. Again, Trayce there, grabs the offensive rebound a couple times and draws the foul. Anyways, folks, Raptors take care of business against the Indiana Pacers. Trayce Jackson-Davis has a good debut. Scottie Barnes looks like an all-NBA player. I'm going to go and watch the Super Bowl. I'm not that much of a football guy anyways, but I'm going. I'm doing it. I'm committing to it. I want to watch Bad Money. I want to watch Green Day. Hope you guys have a great day. See you guys for Detroit on Wednesday. We'll talk about some more Raptors stuff then. Peace out.